Raiders of the Lost Artifact, The Bell of Naram Sin. Presented by the Dice Tales Adventure YouTube channel network. Episode 3, where Clark Hamilton investigates how Clarence and Clarissa, his customers, who he's guiding through the mysteries of Baghdad, came to be assaulted by what he believes are men wearing ritual costumes of skeleton suits. At least that's what matched up with their story. Badly injured, Clarence and Clarissa are recovering in their hotel in Baghdad, and meanwhile, Clark is moving to investigate. All this tonight on The Bell of Naram Sin. So we pick up with Clark. His character sheet is right here. I guess that's about as good as it gets. Hang on here. There we go. So you got Clark Hamilton, treasure hunter, running, base move, strength, dexterity, all the basic stats here. His best stat is his intelligence of 16 and constitution of 15, which gives him a +1. Got a list of his skills. And let's see where we pick up with Clark. So Clark leaves his hotel room and he's looking for, and we're gonna go ahead and get started using the Mythic one-page game engine here, I think. So let's roll and see what we find for inspiration. I am not good at this YouTubing thing. So let's see. Get a little inspiration for Clark, starting to look for information. He's been in Baghdad about 2 years and has made some contacts. Oh, probably be good if I had a dice with 10s on it. Let's go with these two. Alright, hang on here. So we're going to see what we can find inspiration-wise. That is a 27, which is danger. Ooh, that's a good start. 55. Mechanical danger. Oh, okay. I know right where to go with that. So as Clark is walking down the street in Baghdad here, as you can see from this picture, apparently horse-drawn conveyance was still the norm. But as Clark is walking down the street, he hears the putt-putt-putt of an approaching motor vehicle and tearing down the street recklessly at a ridiculously high rate of speed, probably over 30 miles an hour. This machine scatters all kinds of horses, carts, and people before its path, and it bears down straight on Clark, meaning apparently to run him over. Clark sees this coming. Clark, seeing the car bearing down on him at a high rate of speed, will need to make a dexterity luck roll to avoid it. With a dexterity of 9 and his luck rating of 14, he will have to roll a 14 or better on a d20, according to the Raiders of the Lost Artifact rules as I understand them. Can Clark avoid the speeding, reckless car? Let's find out. Zoom out a bit here. Alright, so his luck is 14. He rolls a 13. Not quite jumping clear. The car comes careening toward him, striking him a glancing blow. And let's look up, see about vehicles and see what kind of damage that might do to Clark. Alright, hang on a sec. I'm going to pause the video while I look for this. So after consulting the rules, vehicle combat is mostly about chase rules. So I'm just going to make it up as I go along, which is one of the fun things in solo. So this car comes speeding down the road. Clark leaps out of the way, but he's not in time. And the car hits him a glancing blow. And we're going to roll for damage that Clark takes. He takes 3 points of damage, so that's a pretty serious knock. And we'll adjust Clark's current hit points. People come running over to him and help him up. He's hurt, but not totally badly hurt. He kind of dusts himself off and moves on down the street. And we're going to give him an intelligence. Let's see. Reaction. Sure, we'll give him an intelligence roll to see if he was able to notice anything about the occupants of the car. Because his intelligence is 16, that gives him a +1. And again, need to get that. Oh, with a 17, Clark manages to, on here, there you go. You can see I rolled a 17. And Clark saw that in the large boxy sedan that there were 2 men dressed in the manner of Arabs with long beards. He didn't get a good look at them, but that was the impression that he got of them. One of them apparently shaking his fist, their fist, as he's dusting himself off and proceeding down the street. Clark is wondering, which one of my enemies would want to just run me down in the street? I didn't think I'd annoyed people that badly here in Baghdad yet. Well, I guess I'll have to keep an extra eye out, he says. And he stops and looks around. And I'm going to give him another roll here to see if he can spot anything else going on, as he checks to see if there are people who are after him on the street. So for this game I was kind of using the alternate skill system that comes with it, but there's nothing really in there that happens that really covers this particular situation. So having read the attributes of the wisdom attribute, I think we'll go with that. Clark's wisdom is a dismal 7, which is a -1 on his check. We will have to roll a 15 or better for Clark to spot anyone who might be after him. And that's only a 5. So Clark does not notice anyone following him. And he goes on his way. Clark's first stop is in the seedier part of town. He's headed for the Tigress Club, where one of his best sources of information, Signor Ferranini, the owner of the infamously questionable Tigress Club, where almost anything can be had for a price. Liquor is surreptitiously available in a Muslim country, as are other questionable goods. He's rather fond of Clark, And he's a very good source of information when he wants to be, but nothing is free with Signor Farinini. Clark steps into the dark nightclub in the middle of the day. There's a few people drinking in the bar. The quiet click of poker chips from a back room. And there at his customary table in the corner wearing his fez is Signor Farinini. Heavy-set, jowled man with little weaselly eyes, wearing a white tropical suit and, oddly, a red fez with a golden tassel. He looks up and notices Clark standing in the entrance and gestures to him to come over. Clark makes his way through the tables on the nightclub floor, past the tiny little dance floor and stage, and sits down at Farinini's table. "Ah, Clark. Good to see you again, eh? What brings you to the Tigress Club today?" Farinini asks. "Well," Clark says, "I'm working for a client." Oh, gainful employment. Glad to hear you found a prospect or client. This is on the up and up, Farinini. I'm guiding them around Baghdad. They're looking for something, see?" Clark says. "Are they now? Many people who come to Baghdad are looking for something. May I inquire what it is they're looking for?" "Well, a funny kind of a dingus," Clark says. "Some sort of ancient bell. Something from way back, the early days of Sumer." "Ah, I believe you refer to the bell of Naram Sin." Clark nods. "How do you know about it?" "Well, my good man, I know many things, particularly things that are valuable to know. Why does your client think it's here in Baghdad?" "Well," Clark says, "you'd have to ask him. All I know is he's got funding from a college back in the States, and he's here in Baghdad looking for it. Says none of the other archaeologists thinks it's here, but he knows better." "Oh, really? That's most interesting. I wonder what makes him think that." "Hold on a second," Clark says. "I gave you something. Now I want something from you. He and his sister the other night, they were heading out toward the ziggurat of Ur. All by themselves. Nobody really knew they were going there in the evening. They got set on and beat up. And bad. Real bad. And I'm interested in who did that." Oh yes, I read about that in the newspaper this morning." Farinini nods toward the newspaper laying on the table in front of him. "Most unfortunate. How did you let that happen, Clark?" "Well, I was a little late. I got delayed." Farinini laughs, evil and suggestively. "No, none of that," Clark says. "It was innocent enough." "Well, I'm sorry that happened to your clients. It's really not beneficial for your reputation as a guide, is it?" "Well, that's right, and I want to make it up. I want to find the mooks who did this to my clients. It isn't good for business to let your clients get beat up and nothing comes out of it. So what do you know about it?" Clark leans back, looking at Farinini, waiting for his response. Farinini lays a finger aside of his nose and rubs it gently. His eyes get a kind of far-off look for a moment as he thinks about what he's willing to admit to or not. "Well, I don't know a great deal about it, but I have heard that there is what do you call them? A group, a cult, if you will. They call themselves the Sons of Enlil. Enlil, Clark says. And we're going to make an intelligence roll to see if that means anything to Clark. And he's got a 16 intelligence, which gives him a +1. So we're rolling for better than a 14 with a +1. 14 or better. 8 + 1 is 9. He does not know who Enlil is. So, Sons of Enlil, he says. Who's Enlil? Farinini laughs. Really, sir, if you're going to be a guide in Baghdad, you should certainly know the Sumerian gods. Oh, okay. So a Sumerian god, huh? What's their thing? What are they after, these Sons of Enlil, and why'd they go after Clarence and Clarissa? Well, I suppose you'd have to ask them. But if I had to guess by what little I've heard, they're probably angry that Westerners are putting their noses into ancient Sumerian business. You see, these sons are very old school, shall we say. They're not Muslim. They worship the old gods. So they resent a little poking around, huh? Apparently, if they're the ones at fault. And it sounds like they may be. And he taps on the table. But you didn't hear that from me. I don't want to be on their bad side. Oh, of course not, Clark says. My information is my business, just like yours is yours. Yes, quite so, Clark. That's why I like you. You understand business. Anyway, that's what I know about them. Well, where can I find them? I have no idea. I imagine they might be interested in finding you, though. Well, they may already have. Clark thinks about the car and the way the men in it were dressed. Do they like long beards? I really don't know much about them, but it wouldn't surprise me. Any kind of affectation from the ancients would probably be something they would be mirroring in their whatever it is they're doing. Yeah. Coming here, I nearly got run over by two unlikely looking yeggs in a car. Oh, really? Yes, I was wondering if you'd been in a dust-up looking at you. And you're limping. Yeah, I got out of the way just in time, but I still got knocked down pretty hard. I'm gonna find these boys. If you hear anything, Farinini, send word to my hotel. You know where I'm staying. Quite so. I'll keep my ear to the ground for you, Clark, and likewise, if you find out anything about this bell, I would be most grateful. It might benefit me in certain quarters. Fair enough. Maybe we can help each other out on this one. Yes, that's the best way, when both sides benefit. I wish you good day, Farinini says, and picks up the paper. Clark takes his cue and gets up and leaves. This has been episode 3 of The Bell of Naram Sin. Stay tuned for future episodes on the Dice Tales YouTube network.